Hello, hello, hello. It's Nancy Johnson with Sunday's Best. And we're going to teach you a little bit more about minding your business tonight. So I hope you had a great weekend and the weather was beautiful. And if you've been following me this weekend, I've been traveling, had a great time with spending time with some widows at a widows retreat in Savannah, and we had beautiful weather and beautiful fellowship. So hello, Gwen Mapp. Hello. Welcome to Sunday's Best. I hope you had a great week already. Invite a friend. If you're about to get on to Sunday's Best, I know you can't control what other people are doing, but I can tell you that on Sunday's Best, minding your business, we have been fed. Hey, Gloria Lukey, because I was traveling, I knew it was something I wrote before that I was looking for, and I found it from September 2020. So we've been at this for a minute, y'all. But guess what? We're going to talk about some things tonight that you could have been with me from the very beginning in 2018 or 2019 and heard the same information. But if you took no action, if you didn't apply it, then you need another dose of it, okay? So Gloria, Gwen, Gloria Moore, Gloria Lukey, Gwen, so good to have you here on Sunday's Best. And as we approach the busiest holiday season of the year, I'm going to ask the question up front. Have you paid yourself? Have you been consistent in paying yourself? Hey, Lily James, welcome to Sunday's Best. And I see you paid yourself, Gloria Moore, Lily James. And I'll have to go back up to the top to read the others. But tonight, last week, we had a great topic. And tonight is going to be some more of the same. And, hey, Andrea, it's not how much we make, but how we manage what we make. You can make a lot of money and make a lot of mistakes and still end up in the broke category. All right. So tonight, as we approach one of the biggest holiday season of the year, it's fastly approaching us. And I think sooner or later, somebody's going to find a way to hook up Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas so that they could just celebrate all three of them together and maybe keep the Christmas trees up 3 months. Hello, Vivian. Welcome to Sunday's Best. So, Vivian, I was telling them that I pulled out some notes because I was traveling, and then I added some other things. And I found out that in my review that I taught some of the same information in September 2020. And even more so now, it is more important that we heed the lead. Heed the information that you're being given. So the easiest thing to do might be the hardest thing to do. The easiest thing to do might be the hardest thing to do. Let me break that down for you. We're used to spending and spending and spending at Christmas for gifts, all right? But it's easy to keep spending, and we find a way to spend whether we have it or not. But it may be the hardest thing to do to make some changes. So the three C's that we're going to talk about tonight, Ashton, Gloria, Vivian, and Gwen, and Gloria Lukey. We're going to talk about the word change, choice, and consequence. Change, choice, and consequence. Now I'm going to ask the question, are you going to continue doing what you've always done and getting what you've always gotten? Are you going to continue doing what you've always done, and will you be satisfied with getting those same results that you've always gotten? Now, here's a funny thing. Not so funny, but I thought about it and I had to chuckle a little bit. January through October, we're saying, I ain't got no money. Save, invest, give. I don't have any money. But somehow in November and December, we spend money that we said we didn't have for 9 months, 10 months. And how is it that we end up in January with more bills than we had in October the previous year? Think about that. Hey, Gloria Cooper, think about that. And so all I can say is, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same outcome. So the 3 words for tonight that we're going to base our conversation on is change, choice, and consequences. So when I said you spend money that you didn't have, that you say you had no money, yet you spent money, and then you end up in more debt. What does that tell you? What we've been talking about for 6 years or 7 years, that credit card gets and keeps most people in chains. Most people are slaves to the credit card. It's not because they don't make enough money. All right? So let's talk about it. The word change means to make different, to alter, or to convert into another form. To make different, to alter, to convert into another form. So quickly, think about some things that you say that you're going to change. Give me one thing that you say you're going to change, because it may be something that I don't already have on this list. All right. And just a reminder, everybody, make sure you pay yourself. Okay. So under change, I changed my mind. I have a right to do that. It's my choice, right? You change your mind. You change your clothes. I change my clothes. You change your spending habits. I can change my spending habits or not change my spending habit. It's my choice. You change jobs. I can change jobs. Somebody else on the session may change a job. You can change a lot of things. You could change a lot of things. And so, choice. What is the difference between a change and a choice? Because we all have the ability to do all 3 of these things. And we will all suffer consequences depending on what we change or don't change. The choice we make or don't make will tell us or will serve us up with a consequence that only we can resolve. So a choice, make a selection between 2 or more things is a choice. What have you made a choice about lately? All right. A change is to make a difference, to alter and convert to another form. But a choice is to have 2 or more things and have to make a selection. All right. On one of the things. So you get to choose or make your own decision. That's a choice. It's your choice. It's your choice whether you will either be better or bitter. It's your choice. It's funny how we blame other people for our shortcomings, or we blame other people for our lack of success. But you make a choice. You can either choose to be better or you can choose to be bitter. Here's another choice that you can make. You choose to use a thing or you choose to abuse a thing. And when it comes to money, either you use it properly or you abuse it and suffer the what? Consequences, right? So you either choose to do a thing or not do a thing, to abuse a thing or to use a thing. You choose to learn, take action on creating wealth, or you choose to struggle and be in lack. Now that's a good one. When I wrote that down, I patted myself on the back. We get to choose that. And so why do we continue to come up short when we can change things, when we can make choices? All right? So we have to learn to take action on creating the wealth or creating the situation that we want in our lives. Right, Olivia? All right? So what is a consequence? We've talked, there used to be a show, Truth or Consequence, right? So you can change, make something different, alter it, turn it into another form. Simple, water to ice, back to water, to liquid. Consequences is defined as a result or an effort of an action or condition. What choices are you making that are setting you up for the consequences that you can live with, or that you can gain from, or that can take you to the next level? Hey, Val Flagler. And I said Olivia. She said, Olivia says, I totally agree. All right. So consequences. Why did I get myself? How did I get myself into this mess? How do I get myself out? How is it that I didn't have any money January through October, yet in November and December, I spent a ton of money on gifts? Hey, Victoria Brock, spent a ton of money on gifts. And then in January 2026, I got more debt than I had in October 2025. Okay, consequence. So when you ask yourself the question, why am I always broke? Why am I always struggling? Why am I always playing catch up? Why am I continuously making poor decisions when it comes to money, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to accomplishing my goals? Why is it that I procrastinate? So the 3 C's, you got to put them into practice. This is the final quarter of the year. This is the time to do better. Not just say you're going to do better, but actually take action. So change, choice, and consequences. All right. So everybody clear on that? That's what we're going to talk about a little bit more. But I thought that opening up with making sure you understand that you are more in control than you thought you were. So if it's my decision, it's my choice, then it's my life, right? If it's your decision, your choice, then it's your life. And so our financial status in life, a lot of people are doing well career-wise. A lot of people are doing well with their relationship, with keeping their family intact. But there are a lot of people in pain financially, not because of what the amount of money they make, but because of the choices, because of the changes they fail to make. It's keeping them in lack. So our financial status in life is widely based on the decisions we make. Yeah. Some of us were born poor. I know I was. But that's not a life sentence. You can grow from that. You can move from that. You should make decisions that make that a temporary situation. Poverty and lack should be temporary. You should live in wealth, riches, and abundance. And your mindset should always think in abundance, okay? So our financial life is based on the choices we make. The future, likewise, the consequences is going to tell your story, is going to tell my story. And our story doesn't have to end the way it started. Our story can end very differently. I don't care what your age is. Never stop dreaming. Never give up the dream. Never give up hope. Always be encouraged. And encourage yourself. Pat yourself on the back. And say, you know what? I may be broke now, but I plan to change. I plan to make some different choices. And my outcome in 2026 and beyond are going to be very different, because I am declaring and decreeing that I'm going to make a change. All right. So in making a change, you're going to have to stop blaming other people. You're going to have to walk away from the pity party. You're going to have to put on your big girl or big boy pants, and you're going to have to take off the flip-flops and put on the sneakers and be ready to rumba, ready to roll, ready to do it, ready to claim what the devil has stolen from you, even if you listen to the devil and put yourself in the position, and actually the outcome was what you didn't do. No matter what the enemy stole from you, it's up to you to recover it all, to recapture. And how you start the process is how it's going to look in the end. You got to agree to change. You got to take action toward, you got to put your changes into action. Got to drop the bad habits and pick up the good habits. And you got to keep it moving. And your consequence, your outcome will surely be different if you do something different. All right? So, change, chance, and consequences are all kind of tied there together. You don't want one, or you really can't have one without experiencing all three of them. So number one, make change. Well, no, I'm sorry. Let me end up. You weren't born to be poor, and poor is not a life sentence. So wake up, smell the coffee, get up, do something. You can't afford to sleep, especially not now. You cannot afford to sleep. Making a change that betters your outcome is worth making the change. It's worth you making a decision. And so, number one, stop doing what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is not succeeding. So stop doing what everybody else is doing. Stop going along to get along. Stop going along to get along. It ain't working in your best interest. It's working for somebody else, but it's not working for you. All right? So be willing to participate in your own life event. Be willing to participate and mind your own business. Forget about what the naysayers are saying, because they can't help themselves. So stop looking to them for help. Hey, Pastor Jamal. So again, stop doing what everybody else is doing. Going along to get along ain't the best solution. And it doesn't move you forward to what you're trying to accomplish. Stop being willing to participate in what no longer serves you. Stop participating in things that no longer serve you. That includes people, places, and things. People, places, and things that no longer serve you. I don't mean like no longer do what you tell them to do. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the weight of heaviness of the people that you associate with, and you keep doing it because, and sometimes you don't even know why you're doing it. But that's a weight. And you need to release yourself, make some change, make some good choices, and your outcome will be different. All right? So be willing to surround yourself with people that appreciate you, not people that tolerate you. All right? There's a big difference, very big difference. Number 2 is mindset. Mind your own business. It's your business. Make a change, make a call about what you want to do in life. It's your prerogative. You make the change, you make the call, but remember, you have to live with the consequences. And so minding your business, you're utterly far enough in the game that you can make some calls. You know, you don't have to say, Mommy or Daddy, can I do this, that, or the other? You're the adult now. Hello, Tiffany. Remove yourself from people that subtract and divide you, says Tiffany. Exactly. She knows that that's one of the things that I always preach. Look for people that add to your greatness and that multiply your greatness. And you know, you'll have less tension when you surround yourself with those type people. So mind your business, and saying no. Too many of us say yes to too many things and not enough for self, for yourself, self-help. A lot of us need help doing other things, but we've already said yes to somebody else, so we have to say no to ourselves. A lot of us need to take better care of ourselves. We say yes to somebody else and not enough to self-care. And so mindset, stop trying to be what other people want you to be and be who you are authentically purposed to be here on this earth. You were taught, when it comes to mindset, it's hard to change somebody that's set in their ways. Very hard to say to break that habit. All right. And so if you've been taught, go to school, get a degree, and everything will be fine. But you weren't taught how to make money, earn money, manage money, and invest money. So all the money that you made with that degree or without a degree that you mismanage, you lose. You lose. So even if you got the best education, there may be some changes you need to make. There may be some poor choices that you're making. Why? You went to school, you got a great education, you didn't get a degree, you worked at a job 30 years, you retired, and then you say, now what? I still don't have what they said I would have. But when you see that you're going nowhere, when you see that it says detour, when you see that it's a dead-end street, when you see that it's a one-way street, why do you keep going down the same road? You're either going to have to turn around, you're either not going to get to your destination, or it's going to take you longer. All right? Or you're going to come to a roadblock where you really can't go any further. And so if you were taught that a degree was what you needed, if you were taught that working hard was all it took to be successful, to have wealth, you got to think and you got to look again. Because guess what? When we were being told that, I know at least when I was being told that, when Olivia and Marie and some of us that are about the same age were being told that, there was no AI. There was no computer. There was no internet. So if you just go to school, get a degree, don't learn how to manage your money, you're soon going to have a robot doing your job like they are at Amazon. They're going to be packing your grocery in the store. And so even when you get good advice, when you have good people surrounding you, you have to learn to, in order to master your craft, that you are going to have to make some choices, some good choices. And even if the choices that you were making have gotten you this far, with all that is going on with technology, ask me, I know, because it's the last thing I really care to learn more about, I thought. But I had to make a change. I have to change my thought. AI is going to work or not work for everybody, but it's not going to change what it does for me because I won't get with the program. So AI, if no other reason, is a good reason for you to employ the 3 C's. And what are those 3 C's? It's going to be your change, making a change, making a choice, or living with the consequences, be they good or bad. Number 3, get information. Get information. You're not that smart. I'm not that smart. Nobody is too smart. All right? But we've been taught to get information. Now we got to put the 3 C's in place. We got to process it. We got to process that information correctly. And Tiffany says, I'm doing that. Amen. And Gwen Mapp says, no, no is not no is a complete sentence. I agree, Gwen. It really is. We just have to say no. And Vivian says no AI in 1968 when we came out. So we followed, and follow the leader as long as the leader is going somewhere. Or if you believe that the leader is going to take you safely to the destination you desire to go. But if you know that technology is changing, and not just in Columbia, not in Atlanta, just in Atlanta or Kingstree or Florence, or Connecticut or New York, but worldwide, globally. So this thing is not going away just because we don't want to participate. All right. So number 3 is get information, process the information, digest the information, use it to better your condition. Okay. So find out what's not working and stop doing it. If it ain't working, don't do it. Find something else that will have a better outcome. You have to change your method of doing things. I have to change my method. The saying goes, you can teach an old dog new tricks. And it's true. It's true that you really can. It might say you can't, but you really can. It depends on the dog, and it depends on the mindset of the dog and the efforts of the trainer. All right? And so a lot of things we were brought up to eat, to use, to buy or not do, or places to go or not go. But in 2026, it's going to require a reevaluation. How did I get here? Do I want to still be here? Do I want to pursue something totally different? And time may be on your side depending on your age and what you're trying to accomplish, because some things take a lot of time to come into their fullness. And so what I want to say is we're approaching the highest spending season of the year. But guess what? It ain't new. Every year, Christmas, Thanksgiving comes at the same time. Black Friday comes at the same time. And so what can you change? What choices can you make? to keep on track. Because if you've been following me, like I said, some of this stuff is from 5 years ago, but it's still relevant, right? Doesn't sound like I'm out in space. All this stuff is relevant. And if you keep letting your finance make you feel like you're in a twilight zone and you don't know what reality is, you're going to find yourself stuck. You're going to find yourself just not in the best place. You're never going to be the best you're going to be if you're fumbling around in the fog like you're in the twilight zone. All right? So I want you to keep in mind, if you've been saving really hard for your emergency fund, Christmas ain't an emergency. Not spending for Christmas is not an emergency. It's not new. But if you do the same thing that you've always done, you're going to be broke just like you've always been. Or you're going to have less money because you spent too much money. All right, so let's keep in mind that you have to mind your business now more than ever, because decisions are being made that affect you whether you want to participate or not. It's going to be forced on you. It is being forced on you and on me. So here's some thoughts. What if we didn't do Christmas celebration the way we've always done it? What other option? Is somebody going to put you out the family because you didn't give them a gift? Andrea says, times change and we must choose to change too. Change can be hard, but it is necessary. And Gloria Lukey says, knowledge is power. Vivian says, correct. No AI was back in our days. All right. So keeping in mind with Sunday's best theme, minding your business and digging out of debt. What if you decided to give gifts, but to give fewer gifts this year? Would that work? That's number one. I'm going to give you about 10 of these. What if number two, if your gifts were more practical and less expensive? Change and choice and consequences. Number three, instead of giving a gift, what if you cooked a special meal and invited someone that you usually give a gift, people that you usually give a gift to, and played games that would help each person in the family? Like for us, we play Cash Flow, How to Get Out of the Rat Race by Robert Kiyosaki. What if you gave somebody a family game that they could play, a collective gift? What if you had storytelling time and built your family tree and just had some snacks or a meal, but no gifts? Would that work? Could it work? What if you sat down with those that you, say the smaller children, you give them more practical gifts, but fewer gifts, and then sat down with the adult people that you usually exchange gifts with? And let's face it, if you're used to spending $50 on 10 people, that's a lot of money. If you're used to spending $100 on 5 people, that's a lot of money. And so if you sat down together, even if it was pizza and wings or whatever, and built your dream book. I mean, everybody just brainstormed, go around the room. What is it that you wanted to accomplish that you hadn't accomplished? And then maybe at the end, ask the question, how can I help you with that? And that would be a gift that keeps on giving, not one that you unwrap, don't use, or the person paid a lot for it, and you don't appreciate it. All right. So I kind of wrapped a few of them in there together. And ask yourself for a change, what does this person really need? Not what they desire. Because remember, we've talked about need, wants, and desire. And if somebody needs something for $25, but they want something for $50, but you desire to buy them something for $1,000, it's your pocket that you're digging into. And so not giving the $1,000 gift doesn't mean that you couldn't give the 25. So we're just being practical. We talk all things financial on Sunday's Best. All right. So what if you, instead of giving a gift, actually paid for somebody to take a class that they've been saying that they wanted to take? Or give them a useful gift that will help them in their career, or help them spiritually or financially. If a person has been talking about, I want to learn how to get out of debt, but you can't seem to get them on Sunday's Best. You know, some people feel like if it's free, it ain't valuable. So you couldn't get them to come on here, but maybe you need to buy them a book if you feel led to do that. I would tell them, get in where you fit in. If you lack money and you can get something free, what's your issue? All right. And so, but if you know that that person is more of a touchy-feely, hands-on, they're going to highlight in the book. Find them, give them a gift that keeps on giving. Number 7, what you can do is don't just go out there on emotions this year. I love all the hearts. Everybody's liking this information. That's very good, very good. It's good for me to dig back in my bag. And so when you go out there shopping at the last minute, or you go in and say, I like this, you forget about the person that you're supposed to be buying it. Is it a practical gift that they would use? Or do you buy one for yourself and one for them, then you're spending double? So set a budget, just like you need to make a list before you go to the grocery store, or you get real hungry and you buy any and everything, or too much of everything. The same is true with Christmas shopping. And number 8, I think I already gave this one, give a family gift. Cook a meal for a week or for 3 days for a family that you normally would spend $200 or $300 on. Deliver the meal to them, dress it up. You'll save money. And if that person is really a busy person, they're going to remember that gift that you gave them. It was a gift of time. It was a gift of convenience. So in closing, financial, you're going to have to learn how to manage your finances to have financial freedom. And it's going to call for change. It's going to call for better choices. And it's going to call for you quickly evaluating whether something is working or it's not working. And what is not working, you want to discard. So plan to look at and listen to everything. Lily James says, buy Christmas gifts all year long. Great. When stuff is in season or out of season, I've been told that that's the best time for you to find a good deal. And so I finished up a 10-week class that I was teaching on biblical principles of finance. And on the 10th chapter, it talked about choice. And I know you've all heard this before. Harriet Tubman was featured in that last chapter on finance. And it was about the mindset. It was about freedom. It was about choice. and the choice to be free. Your mindset can set you up for success or it could set you up for failure. It's how you think about it. And so she became free, so she knew what it felt like. But she wasn't selfish. She agreed to help bring other people out. But here's the catch: choice. She said, I freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more if they only knew that they were enslaved. And I'm here to tell you that over the past 6+ years that I've been teaching this, I've been unlocking the door. I've been pushing the window up. I've been telling you that if you want to break free, if you want to walk out of debt, there's certain things, there's certain financial principles that you must follow. And so, like Harriet Tubman, I freed 1,000, but I could free another 1,000 if people would simply listen to me, listen to other people, get ideas, but more than getting ideas, take action. Change your life. Change your habit, change your life. Change your habit, change your life. Changing your life gives you choices. Changing your life, changing your choices gives you successful consequences. And if you're going to do it, don't you want to be successful at it? So financial freedom can be yours, or you can stay a slave because you cannot comprehend that being broke is temporary. Once you learn and once you apply the principles, you too can get out of debt. So remember, it's spending season. You didn't come this far to fail you. You didn't save every week, every pay period to now go and blow it all because you're trying to, remember I said in the beginning, don't live somebody else's life. Live your own life. You know your finances better than the person that you're giving a gift to. And like I said, start small. And if you're going to give gifts to children, say to the children that are under 10 or under 12, I got a limit and here's the amount I got set aside for that. For the adults, it's another conversation because you're making change. You're making a decision. You're choosing to have some money left in January and not be in more debt than you were in October. And the only way I know to do that is look at Christmas, look at the holiday season for the reason for the season, and stop mixing stuff up to the point that it's going to be to your detriment or my detriment. All right? So we're not telling you to be a Scrooge, but we're telling you not to be a slave. All right? Have a good night. Have a good life. In fact, have $1 million life. And you can only have that if you spend less than you make. Take care. Be good.